Am I
Yeah,
fearless?
You're fearless.
Pretty much. Most
Hardly fearless.
Actually, I got to tell you guys, you know, this when I was down there in Guatemala, I was down there for 5 weeks. We typically do a 2 or 3 day adventure. There's like 2 ladies that go out with me, and we spent 1 year. We went up to the Mayan villages, and we backpacked through and stayed overnight in Mayan villages for 3 days. 1 year we went up to that mountain that blew last year. Volcano, we were up watching that going up every night. That's pretty cool. Last year they talked me into this cave adventure. We went, it took us, we were like, I don't know, 2.5 hour hike into the jungle. Then we went down over an hour, almost an hour and a half, downstream inside the water inside this cave. And the water ranged from anywhere from my waist in depth all the way to about 3 or 4 feet above my head, all the way down through there. That was nuts. And that was well beyond my comfort zone. That will never happen again.
I used to scuba dive with a guy that got interested in cave diving. And as soon as he started getting interested in, you know, cenote diving, he and I parted ways, because I do not have any interest at all in being miles back in a cave system on scuba or a rebreather, either way.
Ryan, do you do
some of that? I taught scuba for 5 years, and I used to teach wreck diving, which is a version of cave diving.
Yeah.
And I remember being down inside this wreck up off of Isle Royale in Great Lakes, Lake Superior.
Yeah.
I was in, I think it's 2 stories down inside the wreck. And I used to carry a snap hook on my weight belt. And I heard this clink. And I'm like, what was a clink? I was trying to swim a little further, went, oh! Like I was hooked up to the metal railing by that little clip. That thing didn't last.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, I'm an open water scuba instructor, but also a trimix diver, and I'm certified wreck certified and trimix certified. And man, those things are bad news. We don't use any of those things.
I used to dive. I haven't dove in probably 25 years now. I certified over 500 divers in all different levels. I was a master instructor for Scuba Schools International.
Okay.
But I got to a point where I was in the water 7 days a week, so it was time to quit that or stop being married. She did not put the ultimatum out, but I knew it was not good, so.
Yeah.
Paul's deep water certified too, huh? How deep have you been, Paul?
and wreck. Not too deep. I dove off of the Keys down in Florida. I was stuck down there by myself for a year while we were having a house built. So I went off the Keys. It wasn't all that deep, but I'm not a fan of getting inside wrecks too deep, too far.
Inside wrecks was an issue. Under the ice was an interesting issue.
I won't dry suit dive. If it's 80 degrees or warmer, I'm okay. But
I kind of like the dry suit diving because we used to do a lot of Tahoe diving, and I've been to 300 feet in Tahoe.
You've been to 300?
Yeah.
Wow. I've been to 185. That's plenty.
140 is the max.
Actually, my insurance had something when I was instructing and stuff like that, said something to the effect of didn't have life insurance, wasn't good unless I was above 50 feet. So the guys I dove with had the instructions to drag my ass back up that far.
We have a wall over on the west side of Tahoe, and people oftentimes will go out over the wall on recreational gear and just go down and they never come back. So we've done a few body recoveries on Tahoe, and it's pretty bad.
Paul, you don't think there's a relationship between scuba and motorcycles?
I'm asking if there is, and I'm sorry I misspelled correlation, but with so many people in this group who also scuba dive, I'm wondering if there is a relationship.
It could have something to do with being thrill seekers.
in general. You guys all seem like the types who are going to jump out of a perfectly good airplane too.
Right.
Haven't done that yet.
Dangerous.
Yeah, exactly, Brian. That's what Brian said, adrenaline junkies.
Maybe that's our next outing. We all motorcycle someplace and then do skydiving.
Yeah.
You know, I'd be in.
Hi, everyone.
I've never jumped out of an airplane. I wouldn't mind doing that at least once.
Yeah.
You can do anything once, regardless of how it goes, Brian.
That's a great point, Amanda.
I'd go for that
If
one.
you guys want to go dive, Mike's got a really good friend who owns Isla Mirada Dive on Isla Mirada down in the Keys. He's another Michigan guy. He's the one who's been on Anthony Bourdain's show a couple of times and on Dirty Jobs. And he just kind of fell into it because they went down to film with another crew, and that other crew had an issue and couldn't do it. So he took him out, and he's been a recurring character on all those TLC shows that go down there.
Oh,
A rugby friend, because that's all I have. I have rugby friends and Army friends. And I have
Sounds
Army
like another outing opportunity. We all ride down to Florida and go scuba diving.
Yeah. Isn't that where they have the underwater hotel? It's somewhere around Isla Mirada.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Georgian Bay is renowned for diving as well up here. Lots of shipwrecks and petrified forests down in the water. The water out in Georgian Bay out of Wyerton is over 300 feet in some areas. And Tobermory, which is at the tip of the Bruce Peninsula, is a real dive site with lots of shipwrecks that people come for miles to dive at.
Yeah, but the
When
water.
I used to spend every other weekend up there when I was instructing in the middle of summer, I dove everything there. And that's where I did my deepest off the wreck called the Forest Rump. Back into that's at 160 feet. I somehow found a spot that was 185 feet behind it.
Well, there's out of Wyerton, there's a diving school. Seneca College has a diving barge out there from the time the ice is gone till the time the winter hits, and they teach divers out in the bay all summer long.
Are you a diver too?
No, I'm just a snorkeler. And I
Wait,
go
it's
into
wild
this-
as that, yeah.
This time of year, we used to go up to Peterborough, Ontario. There is it Ontario?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we used to do the ice flow races this time of year.
Peterborough?
Yeah. We got actually, our team got on the front page because we decorated our ice flow as a Hawaiian island. We had somebody sunbathing up on top of it, the whole bit. Palm trees, everything.
Too much
Well,
to-
I'll be trying out my snorkeling in 3 weeks because I'm going to Roatan, and
Oh, yeah.
beautiful snorkeling
Now that's where you dive.
there.
I was actually just talking to somebody this morning about the trip that we did to Barbados for, ironically, a rugby thing. I know that's surprising, but we went snorkeling with the sea turtles when we were there. We went snorkeling and we went to an area that was all sandy. And I hate snorkeling. Not true. I love snorkeling. I hate snorkels, if that makes any sense. So I sweet talked the guys into letting me take off all the gear if I promised to stay close to the boat. So I just free dove, and it was so much fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Free dived. I'm at the end of my English for the week, guys. It's only Wednesday.
you know, I've been working in a family medicine clinic, and I've been speaking Spanish all week long. And yesterday or the day before, I had a lady come in, and I looked at her chart, and her last name was Hernandez or something, looked Hispanic. So I brought her back, and I was speaking Spanish to her, brought her into the room. I started asking her what was wrong, and she looked at me and she says, "Do you speak English?"
Surprise.
Yeah.
I actually, my first job when I got out of the Army was down in Miami. And fortunately, I do speak Spanish, but I was always surprised down there how many people just start out in Spanish. And I don't typically look like I would speak Spanish, but down there, like you go to the post office, and they're just immediately in Spanish. And I was kind of taken aback by it at first, but you realize I was in the vast minority in the area that we lived.
There's not a lot of English speakers in Miami. There really aren't.
Not in that area, there certainly was not.
Mm-mm.
Which was cool because actually that's the only time I've seen my host family from when I was an exchange student to Spain. The only time I've seen them is when my host sister made Miami part of her honeymoon when she got married because I was living there. So it was cool for her because she could speak to literally everybody.
Rory, did you return back to the cold or you somewhere else?
Oh no, we're in the cold.
When did you get back?
Supposed to be 7 degrees on Monday.
Oh, you keep that on that side of your state.
7.
Well, it's all 7. It's all 17 right now. So
It's balmy.
Must be.
The best part about it, Rory, is we're on the right side of winter. Doesn't matter what old man winter's going to send our way. It's going to be over in another couple of weeks.
So you say.
I shot that groundhog.
Not in Buffalo.
Rory, I'm drinking one of your locals tonight. It's a shorts.
oh, those are good.
Yeah, well, this one is the girl version, right? It's the soft parade shandy, which is a little sweeter than I typically like it. But I got these cool glasses. Let's see, where's the camera? That say drink Michigan beer. So I'll sit at my new bar. I'll show you guys. I'm going to show you off for a minute here. I got a new bar just for you guys because I knew it was a happy hour meeting. So I bought this bar today. Just for you guys.
Hey.
Glenda, where are you in Ontario?
Wyerton, Bruce Peninsula.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Our summer place in Thornbury.
I live in Oliphant, so I'm on the west side,
Ooh.
Lake Huron side, but I work in Wyerton.
Ah,
Jerry, you playing?
No, I'm looking up where Warrenton's at.
Oh, come on. Are you coming
Well, if you
up?
come up for the fall ride, we'll be riding through it.
Maybe
Yeah.
David is showing us something.
Oh, we got a fall ride you guys putting together?
Yeah, it's already posted on the websites and
What is that?
reservations. You can make reservations anytime.
Very cool. Is it on the IFMR site or our site or both?
Both of them. Linda posted it today.
Oh, fantastic. That's good.
Going across on the ferry?
Yeah.
Chichiman?
The
Yeah.
Chichiman, the big canoe.
I haven't been on that in years. That's a cool ride. That's like a 4-hour ride, isn't it?
2.5.
2.5?
Yeah.
yeah, two and a bit.
I'm hoping to get a tour of the pilot's house, the wheelhouse. If we have the right captain on the ship, we'll get a tour of the bridge.
There's a lot. It was back when I used to scuba and teach, and I rode that Chichiman across there, and we got in trouble for taking our own tour.
It's been upgraded quite a bit since then, Jerry.
Yeah, it's been a few years. I don't see it on our. Oh, there it is. IFMR for all ride in Ontario. Cool.
Way down the bottom. There's a few more in front of me, but
You picked a good date there too. That's great.
I hope so.
What's
Yeah.
the date?
September 13th, 14th, and 15th.
Oh, okay.
I'll be back from Guatemala, and I think I'm gonna be spending back in Guatemala last week of August. So
Okay. We're going to start in Owen Sound and work our way clockwise around Georgian Bay and finish up at the same hotel we stayed in Collingwood.
that's cool. You guys want me to share what he's got for a route?
Sure.
Why not?
Hang on a second. Let me see if I can do that real quick here.
Am I typing really loud, you guys?
Can't hear you.
Good. So the answer is no.
Does that work?
Yes.
No, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. It's not very much detail. Oh, why did that bounce on me? That's the best I could do.
It's pretty good, sort of.
Well, looks like if I'm looking at it right, day one, we're just going to go up to.
No, day one is going to get us.
I couldn't get the map, Google Map, to jump over the ferry.
Okay.
It wanted to go all the way around again. So that's the morning ride is to Tobermory, and then we'll have a 1:30 ferry across to South Bay Mouth, and then go over to the next one on the right, and that takes us from South Bay Mouth up to Espanola, where we'll spend.
We're not going to ride around Manitoulin.
A little bit, yep.
Well, you ride through it to get to Espanola, but we're not
Yeah,
going to do a ride.
we're going through Mindamoya.
Yeah.
Not going over to the west side. We won't have time for that.
You know what? Can you guys see the map here?
Yep.
So you have us starting in Owen Sound?
Owen, correct?
And then popping up, and we take the Cheechiman over to South Baymont, and we end up into, where do we end the first night?
Espanola.
Espanola, that's right.
Ah, cool. Then we're going to go from there across over to Nipissing?
No, we're gonna stop in at Sudbury. We'll see the Big Nickel. It's a good photo op at the Big Nickel at Dynamic North. Then we're gonna drop down. I don't know whether it's called that one there exactly. We're gonna drop down to just north of the French River.
Okay, down here.
Yeah. Then we're gonna cut across there to Knollville, Monnetville. Levine has a good bikers bar. And then from there, we'll head over to North Bay, spend our night in North Bay.
What's your description of a good biker's bar? One we stay in or one we get kicked out of?
That depends on you.
Then we're going to stay in North Bay?
Then we're staying in North Bay.
I'll be dang. I got to do some contacting to somebody up there then. I've got a very dear friend that served as governor. Lives right up here in this area.
Oh, yeah?
Served the governor at the same time I did.
And from North Bay, where?
He's down with you down in Florida there. So North
Bay to Sundridge.
Okay, right here.
Going south to Sundridge. Then we're going to head west to Parry Sound.
Okay.
And then down through Bala towards Gravenhurst. Bala's not on that map, but
there's Gravenhurst.
Gravenhurst to Aurelia.
There's Bala. There's Bala.
There it is.
Oh, a lot of water.
And that's some of the area that Blair had his ride from Aurelia.
Yeah.
We went through some of that area there.
Cool. And back this way.
Ending back up in Collingwood?
And ending back up in Collingwood. So those of you who are coming from the States will probably want to stay over that night in Collingwood as well.
I'm in.
Good.
That's close to Debbie's birthday. I wonder if I can pull it off being her birthday present.
Hey, I did it. Remember in Iowa?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'll have to check our calendar, but I think we'll be in.
Perfect.
Nice. Very good.
Sounds like fun. Hey, who else planning on going on John's ride coming up in the spring?
That's the Windy, Ohio?
Yeah.
I am.
I'm hoping to be able to do that.
David,
what about Bob Schreiner's ride? That one I can't make.
I can't do that one.
No.
Cool.
I've signed up for that one.
You can't do them all.
I try.
I just got you guys to start some, I can't make any of them. Just conflicts all across the board. In fact, I'd love to do this one that Bruce just talked about, but we'll be in Grand Rapids at the State Motorcycle Safety Administrators Conference that weekend.
I thought I was going to say that's too early for Santa Claus.
Yeah, I know. This is all motorcycle stuff.
I used to complain about Rotary interfering with Rotary. Motorcycles interfering with motorcycles. That's too much.
It is.
Well, if anybody's going to be over in the Michigan area, give us a call, and if we're all, we'll get in touch.
I might do that.
Well, I expect it to happen.
Rory, you should plan something around the Coast Guard Festival. Have everybody come out that week and go down to Grand Haven.
Well, I'll have to check on that.
July, I think.
What is it?
It's the Coast Guard Festival in Grand Haven. It's really a
Coast
cool
Guard
festival.
Festival?
Yep.
I've never heard of that.
First weekend in August. It's the Coast Guard birthday. I think it's August 3rd, something like that.
And where is it?
Grand Haven, Michigan. Looks like 2019 is going to be July 26th through August 4th.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. It's always a big event.
If you book it early enough, there's a state campground right on the beach in Grand Haven. It's a really cool place to stay. Never mind. Probably not super convenient with bikes.
What's your ties to that, Amanda?
We lived when we moved back in 2008. We lived in Grand Haven.
Oh,
Actually,
cool.
if there had been jobs, we would have never left.
Well, we're only 9 miles north of that, so.
I know we actually lived in Ferrysburg, which, you know, I think you can throw a rock from your house and hit Ferrysburg. Yeah.
Well, my arm's not quite that strong, but
You could probably boat to Ferrysburg, though, Rory.
well, we did that one day. It only took us 4 hours round trip. I think I can drive it in 10 minutes, but
Only, yeah, and you can get to Grand Haven. It'll either be 15 minutes or 2 hours, depending on if the bridge is up.
last year they had 3 different times where the bridge got stuck up for almost the whole weekend.
That sounds like it's on purpose to keep the guys from Chicago out. Terry said, "What's a Coast Guard?"
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Oh wait, and James, nice James. I think you put it under your drink. Nice. My that would be one of these, right? Like this guy. So my whole family is Navy and Marines, and my husband's family is Navy and Coast Guard. And when I joined the Army, I got no end of ground pounder this, and so I finally knew that I had been accepted into my husband's Coast Guard dad family when 15 years after we got married, we came back to Michigan, and he was actually flying the Army flag in his front yard to greet us.
Cool. Amanda, do the other branches have as good of a language school as the Army school you went to?
The language school is actually a joint school.
Oh, it is a joint school.
Yeah, all of the services, including the Coast Guard, go to that school.
So why did you pick the Army back then?
I've never told you guys this story.
You might have.
I went to the Navy. Actually, no, that's not true. No, that is true. I went to the Navy first. And one of the very first questions they ask you is, have you ever been a sleepwalker? And 18-year-old Amanda, being all innocent and dumb, said, well, yeah, didn't everybody sleepwalk when they were a kid? And the Navy recruiter said, no, we're done here. Thank you. And then I went to the Air Force, and he said, have you ever been a sleepwalker? And I was like, absolutely not, sir. And I told him that I wanted to be a linguist. And he said, quote, you're not going to score high enough on the ASVAB to even take the language exam. So I went to the Army, and the Army guy said, have you ever been a sleepwalker? And I was like, no, sir. He said, and I said, because I had a substitute teacher, Mr. King, who his daughter graduated with Cassie, I think.
Okay.
He was a Chinese Mandarin linguist in the National Guard, and I was lamenting to him my trials in trying to join the military to go be a linguist, and he wrote down 98G on a piece of paper and gave it to me and said, go talk to the Army recruiter. And so I walked into the Army recruiter, lied about being a sleepwalker, and then handed him a piece of paper. I don't know what that is. Let me look it up. So that's how I ended up in the Army.
Why do they care whether you're a sleepwalker or not?
Apparently, if you sleepwalk off the side of a ship, that's an issue. I think the bigger issue is how many people were not doing their jobs if that happens. I think the issue overall, and which came to light very obviously when we had a young lady who was a sleepwalker in my bay at basic training, is that, if you get up in the middle of the night and you got a weapon next to you, it could be a problem if you're not fully coherent. But I had a young lady in my bay at basic training who got up every single night at about 3 o'clock in the morning, made her bed, towed the line and sounded off and woke everybody up. And she is really, really lucky that they got rid of her. because there were 60 very unhappy women in that bay every morning when she woke us up.
The only question they asked us, I think, was, "Did you smoke pot?"
Well, they asked that too.
I was in the Army during the draft for Vietnam, and they asked us if we had bone spurs.
Well, I'd have lost in that one
Yeah.
too. They saw my X-rays that I had of my back when I was 40. They did never let me in.
Yeah. I had a number of things that I did not get fixed when I was in the Army because I didn't want them cutting on my shoulder and my knee. But when I finished my enlistment and you go through that that last physical that you do, they're like, "Is anything bothering you?" I'm like, "Absolutely not. No." Nope. Certainly never have to put my shoulder back in the socket. Mm-mm.
Where'd you process out at?
Fort Carson, Colorado.
I processed out at Great Lakes.
I actually, when I went to MEPS in Warren, there was a kid there, Augie Augenstein, I don't remember what his first name was, but he ended up going to basic training with me and then to language school. And so we were together from literally the day we raised our hands until 2.5 years into our enlistment.
Wow.
It's kind of cool.
Still in touch?
No, I should look him up. I don't even know what to look though. I'm gonna go look for Army and Augenstein. It's probably not gonna come up, but.
I learned while I was in Germany after Nam that we could get out and stay for a year and then fly back on the military dollar. So I got out in Frankfurt and traveled around. It was pretty nice.
That's cool.
I was a long-haired hippie when I flew back, though, on a military transport plane. They weren't happy with me at all. So
Paul, what were you in?
Huh?
What service were you in?
Army. I was a communication chief in Vietnam and Germany. Vietnam with combat engineers, and Germany with self-propelled howitzers outside of Frankfurt. But I used that opportunity to travel for 3 months all around Europe. It was really nice.
That's awesome.
I was originally a combat engineer, but I branch transferred in the Ordnance Corps for the R&D assignment I had.
I'm curious to know what's Howie working on there. He's obviously in the shop somewhere.
You're on mute, Howie. Maybe I can unmute you though, I think. Yeah, I can. There you go.
No, he's still muted.
There you go.
Now I'm back.
What's happening?
Oh, have a deadline for a stained glass project that's due tomorrow.
Stained glass.
Nice.
That's done.
Where do you put that on a motorcycle?
Carefully, very carefully.
On the back.
I have a sidecar. I have plenty of room.
What do you ride, Howie?
A Ural.
Oh yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
It won't go very fast, but it's a great bike.
It'll go fast enough.
Nah, not on the interstate.
Howie, where do you live?
Durable.
New Hampshire.
I have a friend in Boston who is a police officer, and he was out and about without his car today. He was complaining about how cold it was. I imagine it's a little bit colder where you are.
Single figures.
Yeah.
Although I did get riding. I was out riding last weekend, me and the dog.
Monday there was a couple people out on the highway here on some cycles. They looked awful cold.
Well, if you can ride a snow machine, you can ride a motorcycle.
That's right.
Yeah, it's my problem. It's the salt that's on the roads.
Well, I'm not planning on saving my bike for my wife's second husband.
That's an interesting thought.
Well, it sounds pretty bad. I was with a group of 12 riders yesterday, and we traveled about 4 hours round trip to go have lunch in a nearby city. I know life is really tough. I know.
I'm going to be down nearer to you than where I am now on Friday, Harold. We're coming down to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh yeah, 3.5 hours from here.
Closer to you than me.
A little chilly up there, but a lot warmer than where you are.
I was just gonna say we had a balmy 40-degree day with 35-mile-an-hour winds today.
Oh my God. I would not have done my golf game any today.
Driving the Jeep Wrangler around in the wind like this is kind of like the rodeo of commuting.
Oh, it was a good golf day here today, let me tell you.
Oh yeah. Life
It
is
wasn't-
good.
If it
I
wasn't,
roughed it here on Marco Island with the sunroof open and 80 degrees.
I'd
80
get so bad. I tell you, if it wasn't for this district training gig I got going, I'd be back out of the country. I'm tired of this winter stuff. I really am.
Why we're down here.
Maybe that's why we've got so many people moving here.
How was your south trip, Rory?
Excellent. Nice weather. Walked on the beach every day.
Where'd you go?
The heck is Gulf Shores, Alabama.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
White sandy beaches. The sand is like sugar.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
That's all the beaches here in Sarasota, all sugar sand.
Yeah. Very nice.
Unfortunately, we had to come back. But then again, fortunately, it was for my granddaughter's cheer competition. So,
Oh, there you go. You can go back for a visit.
oh yeah. Yeah, we'll go back again next year.
My last active duty deployment with the Coast Guard, they had me stationed at Pensacola Air Station. And what an incredible 8 months that was. Oops, sorry about that.
Is that you?
That was me. That was my daughter trying to reach me. What can I say?
You're in high demand, Harold.
Yeah, right.
I will say this about Harold.
Oh, no. I'm sorry, but what? We can't hear you, Terry. You have to go? All right, bye-bye.
Harold rode from Charleston to San Diego for a 2-week Coast Guard trip.
Yeah, I thought it was crazy. It was a great trip. They said, what if we kick you out of the school? I said, I don't care. It's all about the adventure. It's about the trip in between, not the destination.
Why are they going to kick you out of the school? That don't make sense.
Oh, well, it does when you are overweight, okay? I was like 5 pounds over, and they said, nope, Chief, you got to be 5 pounds less than that.
So you took a bicycle ride. What the heck?
No. So I did go in 2009. It just meant that I couldn't sample all the tacos and all the street vendors that I went through in New Mexico and Arizona. And going through the Mojave Desert at 111 degrees was a great sauna. It was a great cleansing effect. So when I got there to Pensacola, above San Francisco, I was actually underweight. I had lost so much water weight. So that actually worked out well.
Twelve-ounce deficit curls don't help either, do they? No,
No.
12 ounce, 10 ounce, 8
Not my
ounce, repeat.
No. I just have a ferocious sweet
There you
tooth.
go, Terry.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like whiskey, Terry. What's the deal?
He's an equal opportunity kind of guy.
It's white whiskey, yeah.
Yeah, my whiskey intake's got to be careful, because I got so much of it, and they say, "Oh, that bottle is good. Let's try this bottle." And next thing I know, it's like, "Yeah, I've consumed too much whiskey."
How many bottles did we all go through up there at Toronto?
Not supposed to tell.
I think 19.
Jeez.
19?
What? Did you say 19
Bring me a sample
bottles?
every day from a different bottle?
Oh yeah. Oh, Jerry, I brought you sample from every bottle we had.
I swear you gave me a sample about every other hour.
Yeah, well.
Wow.
It's good to be there.
19.
Well,
Oh, that's
who's
awesome.
going to Germany?
Oh, I wish.
Anybody?
Anybody
Yeah.
going to Germany?
Nope.
Are you going, Terry?
No, we've got another guy's going to handle the whiskey booth in Germany for us.
I think I'm going to go. Well, the IFMR booth's being handled by the German guys you met, international guys. So I think I am going to go to Hawaii, though. That's the following year.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah,
I might be able to go to Hawaii, but I can't go to Germany.
yeah.
You're not going to Germany, Jerry?
No, I'm not.
It's my
Right.
birthday. It's on my birthday. I'm making a play to go
Your birthday is in June?
June 4th. Yeah.
So you want us to send you as a birthday present?
What I want you to do is send me to Germany. Yes.
Yeah.
That would be fabulous, Harold. Thank you.
Jerry's going to work on that.
Vielen Dank.
Just put you in the crate with the holes drilled in it and put a big stamp on it. And off you-
No. You can only go to Abu Dhabi like that.
Oh, I see.
Well, I'm going to step away a second. My glass is empty. I'll be right back.
Oh, man, that's tragic.
I was complaining to somebody today about had an eye twitch in my left eye for like, I don't know, a week. And he said, I just read a thing about that. And they said that is a lot of times due to too much caffeine and too much alcohol. And I was like, really? That seems unusual.
Oh.
Probably not my problem.
No, it's the right eye is too much caffeine, the left eye too much alcohol.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
It's the alcohol. So I'm just going to deal with the twitch.
You're right. Right. Yeah.
My
Something
husband sells wine and beer for a living. What am I supposed to do?
Well, how convenient.
It is quite convenient. That's why I keep him around.
I brought the bottle back with me, so. You recognize this guy, Rory, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Carnivore, that's a good one.
Oh, my gosh.
I think we just finally finished off our last 13 a couple months ago.
13.
I think I've got those gone. I had like a case of those, but I'm on this is a 2015, which isn't too bad.
That's a good one, carnivore.
That's quite a wine stopper you got there.
Oh, you like that?
That's something else, that thing, yeah.
Yeah, I took it off my wife's wedding ring.
Good luck with that.
She didn't need it anymore?
What's that?
She didn't need it anymore?
You guys know,
Totally not.
I've known this for half a dozen years, but you can get, when a person dies, you can get their ashes turned into a diamond.
Yep.
No
Pressed
way.
into a diamond.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they compress it. They
kill my
do it
wife.
right in the lab.
Now, could you imagine your second wife being an engagement ring from your first?
That's actually why I stay kind of chubby. I want to make sure I leave my kids a nice
Just don't
big
tell
diamond.
What was that, Amanda?
Jerry, I think it's it's your first wife's become the engagement ring for your second.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Just don't tell them.
Amanda, what did you say about that?
I said that's why I stay a little chubby. I want to make sure that I leave my kids a nice big diamond.
Bigger diamond?
Wow.
They color those synthetic diamonds, though, so they're no fun.
They're no fun. There again, we go back to what Blair said, don't tell.
Don't say, don't tell. Yeah.
Right. I did a project, probably 15 years ago. No, it's more than that, closer to 20 years ago now, for General Electric Corporation. They are the world's largest producers of man-made diamonds. They make them for saw grade diamonds primarily. They make like 60 to 70% of the world's saw grade diamonds, and they do it in Columbus, Ohio. You ought to see the hydraulic actuators they use for that. They're 5 stories deep into the ground. They're about 5 feet in diameter, and they move that far in about 4 hours.
Wow.
Tremendous. The other thing that was really fascinating about that plant was all the workers, when they went in there, they went through 2 different locker rooms on the way in. You come in your street clothes. You take off all your street clothes in the one locker room. You pass through the gates naked. You put on your work clothes in the other end, and it's a reverse process when the shift's over at the end of the day. Nothing goes in or out of that plant.
I used to work in a similar plant. You didn't have to strip down naked, but it was a super clean room.
Yeah.
So you went in, you had to step on a tacky mat, and you went in, and there was positive pressure flowing through the door. You went in, you washed your hands and face. You had to use their hand lotion. Then you went on to another sticky mat and into an air shower. 2 or 3 minutes in the air shower. Then you went into the change room, and you got completely in this nylon bunny suit, they used to call it, complete with a hood, booties, onto another tacky mat, and then into another air shower, and then past another door. And once you were in for the day. There was no going out to go to Tim Hortons or anything. So you had to pack your own lunch.
Were you building a nuclear warhead?
Navigational systems for a cruise missile.
Oh, really?
Back in the 80s. So it was very finite materials, working with tolerances that just did not handle dust.
Wow.
So,
the engines were made over here near us.
Were they?
Yeah. They're made by a company called Williams International. Williams International is the one that made that O-ring that gave out on the space shuttle that blew up.
Okay. I mean, we made other things other than for the cruise missile. We made gyroscopes for commercial airlines, jet fighters, submarines, et cetera, et cetera.
Huh.
It was a very interesting job. There was never anything purchased from Radio Shack or off the shelf. If they needed a piece of test equipment, they made it on site.
Wow.
Because they were the leading edge of technology at the time.
What'd you do, Paul?
I apprenticed as an electromechanical precision instrument technician. Worked my way through all the departments. Eventually got interested in the production maintenance. So I just maintained their equipment. I was there from 79 to 89.
Are they still in business?
Under a different name and not nearly as big as they were then. When the Cold War ended and the Iron Curtain came down, things really slowed down. There was a lot of layoffs.
Yeah.
That was the last I saw of them.
Huh.
Then they were big into the plasma screens long before plasma screens were on TVs. LED screens took over from the cathode ray tubes for the jet fighters.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
We lost a couple people already here. Glenda
went for dinner.
Oh, okay.
I'm about ready to start studying again. I'm going to bail out of here pretty quick.
What are you studying?
I'm studying for the big boards, the Step 2, it's called Step 2 CK. It's a 2-day long knowledge exam for, it's like a final exam for medicine. So I start studying now. I'll be finished in about 2 months. So.
And you get your medical degree?
I'll have my medical degree in December.
Ah, good for you.
Yeah.
Party time.
Residency time.
Oh, you already know where you're
Better
going to
get
resident?
your partying in now.
Yeah, right.
You already know where you're going to resident at?
I have some choices that I've been looking into, but you know, you kind of put a shotgun out there, especially when you're a guy my age. Put as many requests and applications in as you can, and hope that somebody wants to pick an old man like me. You know?
What's your druthers?
So there's a hospital up here in Jupiter, Florida, that has a brand new family medicine program that I'm really interested in. And then also in West Texas, there's in Santa Fe, not Santa Fe, I'm sorry, now I can't remember the name of the city. There's a hospital in West Texas that has a family medicine program, and then they do a 1-year dermatology fellowship after the family medicine program, and that's really, really interesting to me. But you know, I'd love to go to Las Vegas. I'd love to go back to Reno, and those are all good teaching places. So it's family medicine or psychiatry or neurology, but
Kind of avoiding the snow, aren't you?
yeah.
Where are you right now, Brian?
And down in Florida, down in Miami.
Ah.
Brian, is it in San Angelo at the Shannon Medical Center?
No, it's not. It's at, gosh darn it. I have it in my list and I can't remember my own name. I'm stuffing so much information in right now. But gosh darn it, it's in it's real close to the New Mexico border. I can't call it up.
Not El Paso or any of those.
No, it's not El Paso. I'll tell you where right now because I have my list. Because I have a list of hospitals that, you know, we're looking at and trying to figure out what we're gonna do. So
You said you're studying medicines, or is it all of medicine, body parts and all that stuff?
all of medicine. Well, in the first 2 years, you study all the body parts and all that, and then you take a big exam. San Antonio.
San Antonio. That's a cool place.
It is a cool place, yeah.
I did my first Rotary International convention there. Really enjoyed it.
Nice. Nice. So it's
I was at
implied
that same
after the
convention.
first 2 years that you know your anatomy and all that kind of stuff. And then you start to learn real medicine, like what I've been practicing in rotations for the past couple of years. And so this is all the diseases, all the pharmacology, all the surgery, all the internal medicine, all of that stuff. So
San Antonio is where the military trains most of their medical personnel at Fort Sam Houston.
they're one of the only foreign or Caribbean grad friendly hospitals in Texas. Most Texas hospitals don't accept residents from anywhere but Texas.
It's the great state of Texas.
That's right. That's right.
Do you know what hospital it is?
It is called let's see here. It's actually in a community setting in San Antonio. And but the UTH is the hospital. And I don't even know what that stands for. Yeah.
I'll tell you the down on the rivers there, that's below the street level thing all along the river there, those little shops, that's pretty amazing. Really enjoyable.
I was there. When I was there in 1980, you did not go down there without a gun.
Wow.
Yeah. San Antonio is one of the few comeback cities in the United States.
I have never been there. So
it's a beautiful city.
You know, that river walk is spectacular.
Riverwalk is awesome.
You know, Terry is pretty dangerous back there when the Alamo was active too.
When I arrived in San Antonio, I was absolutely shocked. I'm going, that can't be the Alamo. We're surrounded by friggin' a beautiful city. It's like, how? Right. That can't be the Alamo. Alamo was out in the desert.
Right.
That's the one that John Wayne built.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, John Wayne built an actual Alamo site out in a ranch.
Oh, did he?
Yep. That's the one they used for all the movies.
Didn't know that.
They were selling timeshares out there too for that ranch.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I didn't buy one.
Missed opportunity.
I don't think I missed out on an opportunity or anything, you know.
Hey, Jerry, we need a ride.
A ride?
Yeah, we never did get our pie.
Well, that's true. That place Tom told us about that wasn't open when we went by.
Sucker.
He got us all sucked into this pie that was a foot tall. He swore it was a foot tall.
Yeah, exit 31, Pierre, Illinois. Too bad it wasn't open because you'd still be sitting there eating.
Yeah, we endured, Tom. We endured the worst damn hotel I've stayed at in my life. I don't know if I caught anything there or not. It was that bad.
Sounds like Rory remembers it too.
It was not a good place to be.
No, you haven't. I stayed at a hotel doing my 4 quarters of the U.S., 26 days, and I rode 10,506 miles. So I was going through Missouri, very, very tired, 11:30 at night, bolts of lightning streaking across the sky. I had to find a hotel, and I found some little hotel that a guy checked me in who looked, I swear, like Norman Bates. And I asked him, I said, look, I'm leaving my bike outside. How's your crime here? He said, well, we had somebody who broke into the machine out there, the Coke machine. And I said, look, I've got a gun, and I don't want to shoot anybody because I don't want to go through the paperwork. Do you understand me? He says, oh, no, sir, you won't have any problems. So I went into the hotel room, and you know how sheets have that look that somebody has slept on them before? That's how they look. So I immediately got my sleeping bag out and put it on top of the bed and zipped up like this the entire night. That was a hotel from hell. But I had no wish I had thought about
just warming it up for you.
Harold's still trying to get the bed bugs out of that sleeping bag.
Oh, yeah. I should have destroyed the sleeping bag. Should have just pitched my tent in on the grass or something.
Well, I don't remember what city it was or town, but we did know there was the international skeet shooting, was it?
I don't know, some gun shooting thing, shotgun thing.
But it was a 10-day festival, and we were right in the middle of it.
They had 7,000 guys with guns all around us.
You should have felt safe.
Not in that hotel or motel.
Dude.
When my wife and I first got together, we went up to Lake Tahoe, and we went out just for a little kayak trip, and we took a little tequila, a nice little tequila. We had a little too much tequila, so yeah, just a little bottle.
Yeah.
And we had a little too much, so we found this hotel. It was the only place we could find, and we got this room, and it was just awful. And I sat down in one of the chairs, and the thing fell. It only had 3 legs. Oh, God. We still laugh about that.
3 legs and tequila.
Woo! 3 legs and tequila.
Sure it only had 3 legs, or was that really the tequila?
No, I took a picture just to verify.
Okay.
Did you hit the floor on that one?
Oh, yeah, I was on the ground.
Well, it was a Bloomsbury.
And just pushed it right up against the wall,
Isn't there a landmark somewhere around Lake Tahoe, the London Bridge? Isn't the London Bridge somewhere around there?
Lake Havasu, Arizona.
Oh, that's where it is. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, not Lake Tahoe.
No. Well, they all kind of run together to me so far out west.
Well, you're pretty well traveled. I don't know. You gotta take some responsibility for that,
I don't know. You get to be my age, everything starts blending together.
I don't know, Harold. You and I might be pretty close to the same age.
I don't think so. I don't think you're close to 64.
No,
You're
you got
64, Harold?
10 years on me, Harold.
Thank you. Okay.
You got 10 years on me. You look great,
That's right.
though.
Brian's a real youngin'.
What?
True.
Brian is a real youngin'.
And the world's oldest medical student.
I just turned 70 on Sunday.
Oh,
Happy birthday.
Congratulations. Happy birthday.
would you like us to sing to you?
No, he
Good
said,
man.
"Ew."
You don't want to hear us sing.
I'll drink from
I'll
the
drink
bottle.
to that.
How about a toast? That's perfect.
Harold's drinking Woodford?
Yeah,
Nice. Nice.
I've got a little bit of couth.
Okay. All right. I believe you, kind of.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
I've been
Well, that's all it
I've been enjoying that product from Wild Turkey. That's Rare Breed. Have you tried that, Terry?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
What is it?
It's called Rare Breed.
What is it like?
It's just a regular barrel proof bourbon, and it's fantastic. I really
Sweet,
enjoy it.
smoky hints to it. Some native.
Yeah. It's just one from the Wild Turkey brand.
Yeah, but it's barrel proof, and it's a small batch, so it's pretty nice.
Nice.
Sounds like a road trip to the Bourbon Trail.
Oh, I
Now
would
you're talking.
love to do that.
Now we're talking.
Now we're talking.
Where's
I'm
the
in
Bourbon Trail?
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Kentucky, obviously.
Absolutely.
I'll go on the free trip.
The problem is a 3-day trip on motorcycles should take us about a week.
Or more.
Saying.
Gotta do what you got.
When I was in St. Martin, we had a liquor store that carried Blanton's, and you could just go and buy a nice bottle of Blanton's for $50, And now you can't buy Blanton's anywhere in the United States. You can't even buy Blanton's at Blanton's. They're out.
What?
Yeah, Blanton's bourbon is so good. You just can't get it anywhere.
Wow.
You're in Florida,
Yeah.
and you're not finding any down there. Probably not now.
No, well, I called the tasting room, and they don't have the particular one that I like. Is they don't go by years, but they go by the finishes,
Yeah.
and they just don't have any.
Blanton's
bourbon. Yeah.
It's one that's kind of hard to find occasionally. They only release so many barrels every year, and it'll sell out every year.
That's really popular.
I think the last bottle I bought was about $75 or so, which is probably $20 over MSRP.
Right.
Stay off eBay.
No, you call it Total Wines. If Total Wines doesn't have it, no one's got it.
No,
Yeah.
no, Total Wine doesn't have it. They still
Or
have it down in
maybe
St.
you-
Martin, but
Maybe you reach
Place
out to-
called Max Liquor has Blanton's straight from the barrel bourbon, $380.
Yeah, no.
Could reach out to your friendly neighborhood Rotary member who's married to a sommelier and wine.
really,
If you knew somebody like that.
if I knew somebody like
I
that.
was actually just going to comment on that.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how we can plan a wine tasting as a happy hour meeting. It would take quite a bit of work to figure out what everybody could get somewhere with us all being all over the place.
Yeah, that'd be kind of an interesting homework assignment for all of us.
That wouldn't be bad. I mean, we
You had Mike throw something together, and then it'd be our homework assignment to capture all this.
Kind of a cool idea, actually, man.
It's a very
Kind
good
of-
idea.
the issue becomes who can get what where, right? And with the shipping restrictions in Canada from the States, it's not like I could send it out to everybody. So, but I'm up for a challenge.
Be an interesting fundraiser, maybe.
True.
Oh,
Would be.
What's your favorite winery, Amanda?
I have to admit that I look at my husband and I say, "What's my favorite winery, Michael?" 'Cause truthfully, I don't remember. One of the nice things about being married to this guy is that we end up trying a lot of really cool unknown wineries because it'll be, this tiny place in Napa that my husband knows is the son of XYZ really well-known winemaker. So XYZ really well-known winemaker, his bottle is $90 and his son's his son is like $10, right? So we do a lot of drinking of the cheap good stuff.
Does he get sent a lot of stuff to?
They don't even send it. I mean, they walk it in the door because he's in retail right now. So
Huh?
yeah. Somebody asked me the other day, like, how many bottles do you have in your cellar? I was like, I don't have a cellar. My husband works at my cellar, and I don't have any of the liability of having all those bottles.
Who's that, Brian? Sorry,
My son Clay.
Hello, Clay.
Say hi.
Hi.
How old are you, Clay?
He can't hear you because I'm on here. Let me pull this. There. Now we can hear you.
How old are you, Clay?
Hi, Clay. How are you?
How old are you?
4.
Hi, Clay.
Four.
When do you turn 5?
In April 24th.
Ah.
Oh, he's
Wow.
My birthday's in April, Clay.
Jerry's birthday's in April.
I'm going to turn 5 this year. Are you?
No, I think we're at 500.
You don't think so, Clay?
Even he gets it, Jerry.
There's somebody they turn 5. How old are you?
Well, I'm going to turn 61. So 6 minus 1 is 5.
Well, now there's some logic right there. Yeah. We're working on our numbers. That's good stuff. Well, say good night, buddy.
Good night.
I'm going to say good night too, y'all. I'm going to get out of here.
Good night,
all.
Brian.
Good night.
Good night, Clay.
Good night, you guys.
Good night, Clay.
Good meeting.
I'm heading out
All
to.
right, bewitching hour. I said bitching hour.
Yeah, have another drink for us, Jerry.
Well,
So how about
it's gotta
instead
be
of
just
the
about over because I'm out of booze. I got to go get it, refresh my
Well, how
drink.
about instead of the 4-way test, we just do a toast to each other?
Yeah.
Cheers.
To all your health.
Here, cheers.
And to a little
Salud.
bit of warmth around the
Good
rest of
week.
us up here.
Cheers. Here's to you.
Have a great night, guys.
Cheers.
Y'all too. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
No.